Well, hi, I'm Chuck Lofton. It is a weather impact day, and my goodness, what a day we've already had. As you look at Carmel this morning, earlier today we had ½ an inch of snow in western Indiana, places like Brazil, just to the west of Cloverdale. Here in the Indianapolis metro area, it has been quiet, but it has been cold with just a few snow flurries falling. This is a look at Crawfordsville from this morning and around the area today. Our low temperatures were down in the single digits with wind chills sub-zero, like at the Country Club of Indianapolis, where earlier today we had a temperature of 6 and a wind chill of 8 below zero. This was the cold weather advisory allowed to expire at 10 o'clock today, and much of the country has been dealing with very cold weather. Of course, here in Indy, we've had kind of a mixture of clouds and clearing during the course of this one. I do think we'll see a few peaks of sun, but I got to tell you, with this west-northwesterly breeze, that helps feed not only cold air, but some cloud cover in here. And you've probably heard about the fact that earlier this morning we had some snow. This is an area which will continue to see snow on and off during the day. This is Orleans and Paoli, French Lick and West Baden right there. That's Jasper, Huntingburg. And notice the difference between the winter weather advisories and then the winter storm warnings. And that's for a good part of the country. And in Indiana, it would include Indianapolis, no, but Evansville, yes, over towards Louisville, and that's till Wednesday morning. Now, this morning, we had to deal with a lot of cold. We did morning before that and the morning before that. And really, folks, every morning during the work week today, each day during the work week, we're going to deal with really cold weather with sub-zero wind chills. And in the case tomorrow morning, as I'll show you in just a few minutes, some snow and slick roads at times. In fact, I think that's going to be the biggest weather impact tomorrow, is the potential for slick roads. Frankly, we're not going to get a lot of snow around here tomorrow, but we will have that situation where, because it is so cold, that we see a quick freezing. So what you'll need to do the next few days is follow the forecast. Of course, we'll have it on Channel 13, on all of our social media platforms, and right here on 13 Plus and WTHR.com. Plan for potential school delays. Did you know that yesterday we had 65 districts on school delay? This morning we had 76 districts on school delays, and frankly, I'm expecting the same kind of thing on Wednesday, because there will be some slower travel and that possibility of black ice. Now today, only 17 degrees for a high. Let me put that in perspective for you. The average high is 41 for this time of year. So we're going to have a high today, 24 degrees below the average. Tonight we'll see, especially really late, some very light snow. Start out with flurries, may coat the ground a bit, may get up to an inch of snow in the metro area. But the real problem will be southern Indiana. And by southern Indiana, I'm talking about Evansville to almost Louisville. We're in that little sliver along the Ohio River. We're talking about the potential for 5 inches of snow plus. Now, this was earlier today at about 9 o'clock when we saw, or a little after 8 actually, we saw a temperature of 8 here, but 33 below zero. That is not a wind chill. That was an actual temperature earlier this morning in Bismarck, where the wind chill was 45 below zero. That is dangerous, life-threatening weather. And that's the kind of cold air that we have been tapping into. Now, our wind chill between 8 and 9 o'clock, 5 below zero. But as we go through the afternoon, then you'll see how these temperatures are going to pick up, but honestly not much. And I do think that our sub-zero or single-digit wind chills, frankly, are going to be with us all day long today. So be prepared for it. But let's talk snow, because I know a lot of you are concerned about this. If you're driving north of Peru, you're talking about a lake effect snow that would be spotty and probably 1 to 3 inches. From, let's say, Noblesville on north, nothing tonight other than a few snow flurries. In fact, I think even in the immediate metro area, that could be a possibility coming up from the south, that we would get a few snow flurries or a coating, maybe an inch along the I-70 corridor. From Bloomington to Columbus, Seymour to Bedford, 1 to 3 inches. That would include the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington. Then you go a little bit farther from Vincennes over to Paoli and French Lick. I think, French Lick and West Baden look beautiful when it's snowing. And I think certainly that could happen with 3 to 5 inches tonight. Watch the roads, though. Orange County over towards Paoli. That's pretty tricky driving when the weather is this bad. And then again, Evansville over to Princeton. And then just to the west of Jeffersonville, we're talking about the potential for 5 inches of snow. And the reason for that, of course, is this cold air that has been streaming through here. Now, again, the wind chills mostly this morning have been in the single digits, but I want to show you what we're looking at. Arctic air is starting to push south. Remember, I showed you that 33 below zero air temperature in Bismarck and 45 below zero wind chill. Well, that cool air has been diving to the south, and I do think in this area, Minneapolis, portions of Nebraska and northern Kansas, there will be some records for cold today. In the meantime, the overall chances for snow getting caught up in the upper level jet stream, which is really, frankly, it's the polar jet. That's what most of us call it. That moisture's getting caught up. So this rides pretty far south of Indianapolis with the real trouble spots, the state of Kentucky, with a series of winter storm warnings. Remember, those folks are trying to clean up from flooding in so many Kentucky counties. And I know Governor Beshear down there is very concerned about not only the snow, but the cold air that's infiltrating. And that cold air spreads even farther south tomorrow. Take a look at this. The Arctic air stationed over the central U.S. pushes all the way south into Dallas. Now, we actually will miss the brunt of this because this area of cold from Minneapolis to Dallas is really widespread, and some towns will be, get this, 45 degrees below the average high. That is unreal. Now, you may expect that in December, you may expect it in January, but really as we get close to the end of February, you don't expect that kind of thing. And take a look at this series of winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. This is all winter weather advisory, basically Princeton over to Cincinnati. Then you've got this sliver of Indiana under a winter storm warning. Carbondale, Illinois, almost all of Kentucky under winter storm warnings. Cape Girardeau, Missouri, all the way through Branson, Missouri, and then south towards Little Rock, and then the northwest corner of Nashville. Those are all winter storm warnings. That is an amazing thing to see that much. So let's bring you through the day, and I'm going to walk you through, I think this is going to happen, all right? Throughout the day, we want you to watch Angela Buckman and Sean Ash as these computer models are updated because, frankly, they have changed somewhat. So let's take you to 11:30 tonight. Angela will be on Channel 13. At that point, we'll have snow showing up on the radar, but it's to the south. When I'm on with you tomorrow during sunrise, I do think we're going to have a number of school delays, particularly to the south. That snow slowly creeps from Bedford and Bloomington to Columbus and Martinsville. So it could be literally 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning before we see anything of real substance. And even then, we're talking about light snow. This computer model has this departing very, very quickly. And if that's the case, that means that the lion's share of this is in Kentucky. However, there's a rub because as an area of low pressure diffs off to the back, on the backside of this, Wednesday night, so this is 9 o'clock Wednesday, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So there's a 2-hour period Wednesday night when we might actually see some rain, or pardon me, some snow. This is a lake effect situation. Thursday, it gets cold again. The winds are going to be out of the west and the northwest. So we want you to prepare for that. Now, this is a look at the forecast, and let me tell you that I honestly think that as we get deeper into the forecast pattern, this is going to change somewhat. But this is what we're looking at today. 17 degrees for a high. That snow comes in basically tonight and then tomorrow morning and then moves out. And again, there is a possibility that we will lower some of these snow amounts, although I'm going to stick with what we've got for right now. 22 tomorrow. Then remember I mentioned that northwesterly breeze blowing off of Lake Michigan? That's 17 degrees for a high. Friday, sunny and dry. We start to see some hope in the afternoon. We're up into the 20s at 24, and then I think the weekend looks really good. You will feel the difference. 33 Saturday. On Sunday then, we're going to see partly sunny skies, warmer 40, and all of this snow melts because on Monday, We'll have a low of 32 degrees and a high of 46. So we'll actually be above average on Monday. Now, we want to continue to urge you to get on our social media platforms. We're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're at WTHR.com, of course, WTHR TV, and our 13 Plus app. Hope you're careful out there. Stay tuned throughout the day. Sean and Angela will be with you with the very latest. I'm Chuck Lofton. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.